to play defense. He loved that last block, loved it, but said, why all of a sudden are they getting second and third chances? I don't like it. Shut it down.
Washington gets that right there. Cadeau's going to have an open three. Big shot.
On a dime and rattles it in to get us our first points.
He's known for his defensive effort too, but if he could come out and give them a little bit of a lift, gets about 9 points a game, but has to keep active.
Quick answer. Elliot could line on one of the most efficient offenses in the country, thanks in part to that young man. As R.J. Davis, a little bit too much. Offensive rebound, Carolina, fresh shot clock.
Got to make sure they run their second and third options against San Diego State.
Cadeau lets it fly and hits.
Drive. And nothing easy for San Diego State.
Well, this is danger time right now for the Aztecs. Missed three from Boyd. And very few second chance opportunities for San Diego State. And for a team that, maybe a lot of the experts felt like shouldn't have been here. Right now, North Carolina is carving them up here in Dayton. Spiriditas and Jim Spinarca, what a performance we've seen so far from this North Carolina team as they hold a 30-point advantage. Had that incredible finish in the opener. Alabama State, Jim, getting their first ever NCAA tournament win. And now the Tar Heels making their statement as they will.
Some end of the floor. Davis, second team all ACC. James hounding him in the corner. Carolina down 9 here in the semifinal. On the drive and the kick. Here's Cadeau. Yes, a three.
Needed that. The first Kentucky in Champions Classic. Going to Arizona. Playing against Auburn at home. They had been tested. And so now that is showing up.
Oh, up and over the top for Gungba. And a slam. Out of the timeout. So a quick strike for the Duke Blue Devils. Here's Davis. Cadeau open. Drains it from three-point land. He has 11. Just about everybody on their feet in the building. Here at Spectrum Center. 10 to get off a shot now for Carolina. Cadeau on the drive, right by everybody. You shoot it like that, you think you've made it.
Oh, in your mind, you tell yourself that you made it. You don't even get discouraged about that.
Cadeau banks it in. Didn't call it, but he'll take it.
Hey, we're in the banking.
And a turnover. Campbell with a save, and Cadeau diving down to keep it alive. Terrific effort by the Tar Heels. Cadeau on the attack, will lay it in.
And that's the Elliot Cadeau
that to take on the winner in a semifinal round here in Charlotte at 7 o'clock tomorrow. We'll see if there's any chance Cooper Flagg is going to play. Cadeau on the run and banks it in.
And that's what
wanted to address on the offensive side. He said he addressed the 2 shot clock violations. He said we're holding the ball. The attack mentality has to be better in the second.
Foul moments ago on Tyler Johnson. Turnaround by Cadeau, using the window really effectively.
All he has to do is run and put himself in great position.
Burton will launch. That glances away. Good three-point shooter, 39%, but not that time. And Cadeau will call it out. A sophomore from West Orange, New Jersey. Back out for Powell. Cadeau hits it.
Bounces down a shot. It's a long 2, the officials are saying. And we'll have to wait until they check on that. 2 of the officials were kind of motioning at one another. I believe it has been recorded as a long 2. Cadeau with a Maluach on him. Drives left hand up and good. And Carolina's on the board. Tough one, won't go, and it's down to Withers.
Excellent defense by Jalen Withers to stay in front, force the fadeaway.
Duke's won 7 in a row. Carolina 6 in a row. Oh, how about the English from Cadeau this year? Flag no. Flag again. Carolina ball.
Sion James with his size and strength guarding R.J. Davis. Now he's got Malawach on him. He can take this one on.
He's sending Withers to the corner. Kicks it to Cadeau. And Cadeau hits a three.
After his second foul, Burnham gets a clean look, clanks a three. Poteet has it taken away by Elliot Cadeau. And Cadeau charges down the floor, and he inserts himself into the
athleticism. Man, it can be freaky at times. Davis launches a long one. Rebound tipped out high. The second chance for the Tar Heels.
And that's power. I mean, it's athleticism, but it's just energy. He brings in energy.
Good shooter will knock that one home. David averaging about 5 points a game. They expected a little more from him this season because of his shooting range. You just saw that. Here's Powell on the wing. Cadeau knocked down a couple of threes the other night. And a good drive using that
spot, at which point probably have to beat Duke. I don't know, man. That's tough. Just, you got to win games. You got to play your best basketball. And wherever you lie, that's what you got to live with.
That's what NC State was thinking last year.
Oh, man, how about that?
Cadeau with his stuff.
Tricks out there for it, but ultimately you just watch and you know what I'm talking about.
Johnson turns and missed ugly with that one. North Carolina by 16 in the ball at the 5-minute mark. And Cadeau looking to make a move. On the drive, took a bump and laid it in.
Here is getting the job done. Lee Ewing drops a dime, recognizing that there will be a double team coming, shooting 95% in his last 2 games.
Jamir Watkins, the 6'7" junior, off target on that one. He comes in averaging about 18 points a game. Look for him if the Seminoles are going to spring one tonight. Cadeau on a nice drive will lay it in. That one, nobody bothered to pick him up. And at 6'11", he flushed it.
Hey, but you see Ewing has a lot of ability being able to handle the basketball. As Cadeau's
his lead in the ball game. And Carolina has it 58-47, stolen away by Cadeau. Cadeau on the move. He'll drive it. Back out for Davis. And he will wisely set it up.
Shocked to see Cadeau not get that one all the way to the rim and lay it up.
Cadeau left open again. This one he nails the three-pointer.
And the threat that Ewing is on the offensive end.
Cadeau high off that backboard. Rebound snatched by Washington. Here's Cadeau. Got it from the corner.
Quite well, and he's got 4. He was asking for a foul. He got that rear view mirror challenge defensively. Good call. Cadeau, extraordinarily dangerous. I mean, he's a catch and shoot specialist. He had 23 against Syracuse, went 5 of 10 from 3. He also had 21 against NC State the last time these 2 teams played.
And you know, Jay, that last one was a big one for him. He had 4 straight games in which he'd been in single digits and then had a really good version. There's another turnover. Davis open for 3. Powell, offensive rebound. Carolina, this is like old school Carolina attack.
Allows Carolina to just adjust to the ball.
Cadeau, tough catch for Lugan, and misses another one. And the ball deflects out to Withers. Cadeau will take it himself this time, right into the body of Taylor and roll home the game's first 5-point game. Lampkin's tied a career-high 22. Cadeau is back out there. Withers sits with the 4 fouls.
The defense by Lampkin, showing high, taking R.J. Davis away and then getting back. He's working hard.
And he had limped off the floor after the other 8. He knocked knees with Withers. Now he steps up to guard Cadeau, trying to bend it in. Cadeau will shoot it instead.
A few seconds left. They're into it now.
Cadeau, 15 to shoot, spins around Carlos, a big basket.
Tigers on the other end of the floor. Other guys get an opportunity to eat because Locken is able to dominate in the post.
Cadeau penetrating, spins it up and in for 2. He had 20 rebounds against Kentucky. Last seconds of the half. North Carolina's gone 4 minutes without a point. Cadeau with a bump and ends that drought. You think that should happen, right? Davis fires it up there, but no. Powell kept it alive. And that one goes down for Cadeau.
Veteran play by Jaden Zachary, a.k.a. Jay-Z, who has a huge smile on his face. He's kind of the uncle of this team, OB. He's one of the older guys with making plays with young legs. And cruising right now, a 22-point lead over the rival North Carolina Tar Heels.
Seth said it during the first half when he had a studio hit with us. And he
give it back and forth. Now Leggett from the right wing. Trimble with another rebound. Carolina down 2 with the basketball. Cadeau works his way into the lane, fakes the pass. Now back outside to Trimble. Van Allen Lubin back into the game for Carolina. Set the screen. Now posting up down low. Cadeau loses the defender and banks it home.
Line has come up big for both teams in this second half. Both teams 4 of 7 from 3.
Davis, Cadeau, and Trimble around the perimeter. Powell and Lubin inside for the Tar Heels. Davis, brother Cadeau, going to work on low.
Faked the skip pass cross court and then was able to find Malowach as the trailer. Just such poise in transition from Cooper Flagg.
Assist number 5 of the night already for Flagg. Davis, a nice find. Cadeau buries the 3.
Season he might have played with it, tried to cross over 2-3 dribbles, and that could get him into a little bit of trouble.
Cadeau gets it back from Washington. Left alone, 17 feet away, and he knocks it down. Game, again, a 20-point lead in a game that really hasn't felt that close for very much of it. This is another impressive statement by Duke. Unquestionably one of the best teams in the country.
No question. They're the best team in the ACC with a legitimate shot to go unbeaten in conference play. Still a long way.
Powell, Davis, Trimble, and Lubin. 4 starters out there for Carolina. They have a switch with Corin on Cadeau, who lost the dribble. He wants it back. Try to take the big man. Cadeau spinning around him. Very difficult left-handed finish.
10 seconds.
Zach Austin, who appeared to be a cramping issue, back on the floor to a huge ovation. Carolina scoreless for 3 minutes plus. Cadeau batted out of the air by Lowe, right to Davis.
They telegraphed it exactly where he was going to pass it.
Cadeau driving into Lowe. Wow. And Cadeau finishes on a Tuesday night late here in the Steel City. We tip it up with North Carolina winning possession. Ted Valentine, Tony Henderson, and Brian O'Connell are officials on this Tuesday evening. Carolina with the ball. A Tar Heel team led by R.J. Davis, the ACC preseason player of the year. Coming off a 102-96 overtime win over BC, and they get the first bucket.
It's Boston College and had 18 points, 6 rebounds. They need that type of performance from their bigs, especially for a team that's known in North Carolina basketball to have dominant bigs who get a ton of offensive rebounds.
So this has been an atypical team in that respect, and they're down a big tonight. Off the wild shot by Leggett. Cadeau is going to float it in.
You know what I like about it?
Analysis by you waiting until somebody fell on the deck. It's called a 2 for Leggett. 10-6 Carolina. Against what is one of the better offensive teams in the nation statistically, these Panthers. They'll give Cadeau room to shoot. Not a great three-point shooter, but he rolled.
About 4 shot blocks as a team on the year.
Hand was a guy who, a handful of games into his true freshman year, he had a very serious knee injury. Then played 34 games last year. Was not a starter. He played about 18 minutes a game. And now all of a sudden his numbers have just exploded. Shot clock at 2 and Cadeau to the rack. And that's in the first of the game by Venning.
You know, he does a lot of his work out in the high post, and you just don't see him in the paint area very much, or, you know, having at least in this first half.
There's a strong move by Cadeau to the back.
With Trimble in his shirt, too. Tough shot. I was thinking as the shot was going up, I'm like, that's not the best shot in the world.
40 to go. Home team down by 3. And Cadeau, a strong move and up the lead.
Yeah, interesting, even for, I guess, and he's coming into the game now, but Jackson didn't start the overtime.
Cadeau lays it in.
28 seconds on the shot clock. In for Davis.
Nobi, I had to go over and apologize to my guy Ron Gruber earlier, because after Cooper flagged all but admitted to having said something on his technical foul the other day, and I said that he didn't say anything, so I had to make sure I made good with my
Michigan State, Florida, but they had lost them all.
And that's the thing, playing a great schedule, but you got to throw some wins in there against those teams. Part of the reason why North Carolina, according to our Joe Lunardi, is one of the last few teams with a bye.
Here's Salas, pretty quiet so far. His elbow jumper, no. Tipped again, and controlled by Carolina. Let's see if they push it here with Davis. They get to him quickly. Seth Trimble now in the game has been pretty consistent, or at least was until a head injury in practice. Off the window, nicely done.
This year in comparison to the 4 previous years under Coach Ford.
He just picked up his second foul for Wake, so keep an eye on that. Cadeau again on the attack, and Salas seems to be hunting for a little contact. Here's Spillers, too strong. And a window opening up here for the Tar Heels behind Davis. 51-46 Wake. Hubert Davis was hopping mad about something. Cadeau straight on. Got it, and rattles home.
Way outside, in and out on the tray by Ryan Arwald. And here comes Cadeau. How about that move? Oh my goodness, Cadeau!
It's really a solid find by Blakes.
Wow. After the rejection, Cadeau. Sellers pulls up short. And a rebound ripped out of there by Trimble. North Carolina trying to add to the lead. To the basket, it's Cadeau.
Not handled the basketball extremely well. They're a -30 on the season, and they have a higher turnover rate than assists. So this is the last team you want to do that against, correct?
You can't let them get in transition. And,
there goes Cadeau.
They're talking about transition.
Off the charts, and he's got good size at about 6'1".
Big play.
Jeremiah Wilkinson had his shot rejected. Seth Trimble's come on the floor, by the way, during the timeout for Drake Powell in the Carolina order. And here's Cadeau out front for 3. Standing 3.
I tell you what, Campbell's been able to find some success, especially when he's gotten in the paint.
Yeah, 6 for DJ Campbell, by the way. Transfer from Western Carolina out to the Cal program. He played for Justin Gray last year in Cullowhee. There's Cadeau, another shot. He's double-figure rebound games this year, including 1 against Virginia. But a half dozen points is heavy work in the scoring column for Monty.
And they're all second-chance buckets.
And there's Cadeau adding to his.
Let's move back from there.
But, Coach, how about this? How about when you have a game like Jalen Washington had last time out, his first double-double, the game-winning bucket and game-winning shot? How much confidence does that give a player like Washington, who has struggled at times throughout the season?
Well, you can see it tonight. I mean, he thinks he's going to make it. Before he was shooting like he thought he might miss.
Look at the tough drive by Cadeau. And Jackson. Look away for Jalen Washington. Blocked by Dort. Saved by Jalen Washington.
Heck of a block.
Cadeau. Layup good. Recovered on the baseline by Withers. Here's Jalen Washington. And Withers going to give Carolina a 3rd crack at this.
I love, we talked with Hubert Davis earlier today, and he was encouraging Jalen Washington to shoot threes. He wants him to shoot a couple in practice every night, even if he misses them, to make sure he becomes more confident of taking those shots as Elliot Cadeau gets to the basket.
I thought this would be a little like this. I didn't think it'd last this long in the first half, right?
Well, let's keep in mind, North Carolina is the leading offensive team in the Atlantic Coast Conference. They average over 84 points a game. They have 17.
Look at Cadeau go to the glass. That'll be scored. There's the lob for Powell. What a catch.
Boy, he really had to go up and get that one,
didn't he?
course, he didn't jump as high as Hubert Davis did over there on the bench.
Cadeau off the glass.
And that's what we haven't.
Bill Covington Jr., Tommy Morrissey, and Eric Lewis on the whistle. R.J. Davis with the tap, won by the Tar Heels, and Carolina to work.
And immediately SMU drops back into a 1-3-1 zone. And they'll match up out of this zone.
Miller plays at the front, or they bring the long Johan Traor out to the wing on the far side. 8 to shoot, and here goes Cadeau back for Washington. Yugitolu on a kick out, Cadeau. 3 on the clock and a long triple. Rings in for Elliot Cadeau. 12 from behind the line.
2 straight, and one to end the game, one to start it.
And a steal by Cadeau against Cross. Layup bounces in. Yugitolu against Bilal Lubin. And a double team. Bell forces the turnover. 5 of them now for the Mustangs. And Cadeau off the Powell pass.
That's perfectly executed, Wes.
Burton has been out, but it feels like his rhythm has been off today.
Been a little bit off, yeah. Again, Carolina defense has been solid. They've bodied him up pretty good, and they forced a couple of turnovers when he's had the ball with his back to the basket.
Notre Dame trying to use length to disrupt in the lane.
Yeah, they want to play with long arms is how they phrase it. And that's one they'll, based on the clock here and the score being what it is. Yeah, that's a nice take.
Cadeau right to the rim, puts it in, timeout.
You quickly attack the rim and try to get something in the first 5 to 6 seconds at the bucket. Yeah, they're looking for a 3. Yeah, they're looking for a 3 now.
Cadeau for 3. He's fouled. Here's it.
9 points in this first half for Rain Smith. And it's a 6-point lead for Louisville, their largest of the night. Cadeau down the lane, gets it to go.
Really pay attention right there. Nice play by Zerlini. That's an excellent block shot. But nobody there to recover. Really, really aggressive start for the Camels of Campbell.
4 field goals in the first 3 minutes for Kevin McGinn's Campbell team. 2 power conference games this year. Lost to Virginia by 9, Ohio State by 44. Late shot clock, Cadeau. Banks it in, Elliot Cadeau with his first. Davis ascends to the top of the Carolina record books. Powell with a rejection on the other side, and then Cadeau feeds Davis, who started 3 for 3.
Boy, Powell can get off the floor, can he?
He is just one springy freshman, as is Jackson. And what a tough finish that is. Triple sub for Campbell here. Tassos Cook is in the game. Colby Dugan. Braggy Goodmanson gets his first action as well. And Cadeau has an uncontested layup in his first half. Dugan's hit 3 from out there. That's offline. And tracked down by Cadeau. Elliot Cadeau going 1-on-2 and still finds the.
Through those 2 defenders. Sometimes a guard in that situation holds on to it just a little bit too long. And Cadeau hadn't done that tonight.
Leading Carolina in the year 5.7 assists per game. And he floats it in here, calls his own nice little slip, and Sinati's got 7.
Well, you have to have, if you're going to run the Princeton-style offense, you have to have a big guy who can go to the top of the key and make that pass to the guy, the guard cutting through.
And Dugan was the big guy there. He's got a couple of assists. Cadeau just worms his way in.
Here last 45 seconds.
Smart. Cadeau.
And man in and one. A blow by. Cadeau will inbound. Got 10 to shoot. Cadeau's going straight up with it. Got it.
For the Florida Gators.
Walter Clayton Jr. gets to the nail, and when he gets to the nail, he's going to make a play. It's a really nice kick to Richard.
Cadeau with the drive. Nicely done off the window. R.J. Davis has scored the last 10. Most of those at the line, though, for North Carolina. They need someone to shoot the ball, particularly beyond that 3-point line. Cadeau won't. He's going to drive it. Little leader, and that falls in.
You see, that's a great, nice job by Cadeau off the glass.
Clayton's not going to wait on the other end and miss. Trimble picked up quickly by Clayton Jr.
Icing a ball screen over here, trying to keep R.J. Davis on one side of the floor.
Cadeau got it. Finally for North. Cadeau looking for a seam. He's going to lay that one too strong. He fights for the rebound. Gets it back and lays it in.
Can't protect the rim, right? Hawk stayed down there, and Cadeau was the low man in the eye.
Cadeau, nicely done.
Back and sticks it.
82-82. Cadeau penetrates, hesitates. That was nicely done.
You know, one of the things Todd Golden thought.
And they lost one game his senior year. That's a nice move to the rack by Elliot. Cadeau into the ACC against Louisville and Notre Dame. We'll have two games from the Dean Dome coming up as Cadeau drops one in.
Tuesday in Norman. Back out of Dango. Too strong. Cadeau off the bounce. Lays it in. Tough finish.
Inside, I mean, he's going to be able, as the game slows down, as he physically matures, he's switching here, he's switching on R.J. Davis, Elliot Cadeau guarding the ball. They finished it on Cadeau. And I think their best player.
Nate George misses the jumper, and Georgia Tech's scoring drought is approaching 4 minutes. North Carolina looking for the lead. Good to see Jaden Mustaf back into the game for the Jackets.
And this is what I said about the three guards. The tendency for everyone when they get the ball is to dribble.
Cadeau, tough shot. He did there. 3 for 18 from long range. Carolina with it up by 2. Jackson's got Dongo on him. Around the Washington screen. Now R.J. Davis. 5 to shoot. Cadeau for 3. Yes, sir!
Making it pay off for Tom Izzo, putting him in the starting lineup.
Yeah, making a case to stay in that starting lineup. Holloman with 10. He's perfect from the field. Cadeau the drive and a strong finish.
Nice this season. But Trey Holloman giving them that spark. Normally off the bench, now in the starting lineup, and maybe finding a permanent position in that starting lineup for Tom Izzo.
Cadeau kept the dribble and was a 109th career game, his 69th career start. Unable to handle that lead pass from Holloman, however. Cadeau will try a 3. That's good. And 1 against Dayton. Season low 12 last night against Auburn. A couple of moves there, but Kohler comes up empty. Cadeau splitting the defense. He is so good at doing just the spark. Oh, that pass picked off by Trimble. Easy pickings.
Greg Powell had a good look.
Cadeau with the look.
Cadeau got it.
Interesting back-to-back nights having to tend to that knee as Elliot Cadeau in mid. Elliot Cadeau in his grill knocks it down.
Well, I mean, those guys have done this more than enough in the gym where there's just the 2 of them. So very comfortable shooting over the top of Elliot Cadeau. You can tell he's done it before.
This is their first ever meeting, however,
on ESPN in a high-stakes game.
Broom passed into a crowd. And that is the first turnover of the game for Auburn. Cadeau the runner.
And that's the...
Benai Broom now up to 13 rebounds to go along with his 18 points. Too strong there on that jump hook. Cadeau off glass.
And Cadeau is...
Second one also good. Auburn taking care of business there. They're 11 for 13. Now or never time here for North Carolina. Cadeau says now.
4 consecutive years. The best part about it, he did it at 2 different schools. 3 straight years at St. John's and then last year at Butler. Still the same guy at the top of the steals list.
Cadeau turns the corner and finishes uncontested. Yeah. Cadeau going to challenge Santos. And he wins. Follow! I'm not sure if you count it as a dunk, but it is a putback, and Hawaii on the board.
Yeah, regardless of whether it's a dunk or not, it still counts for 2 points, the first 2 for the Rainbow Warriors.
Elliot Cadeau quickly. The up transfer from Valparaiso. Tried to bounce that one to Ryan Rapp, but too much traffic.
Give North Carolina a lot of credit for putting the pressure on the passing lanes defensively, forcing another turnover.
Davis picks up the dribble. Under 4 minutes to play here in the first frame. Cadeau with the crossover move. Goes up with the left, the finish. And a little over a minute, and they wrestle the ball loose again. It's Seth Trimble. Bounce pass again, Cadeau. And you just mix it for 3, and he splashes down.
And that's a welcome sign for the Rainbow Warriors. The struggles have been imminent throughout the first half. Only 2 of 14 from beyond the three-point arc.
And right back at the other end.
That cost you in a number of different ways.
Behind the back dribble, Cadeau, wow, finishing with the left.
A different level of competition than what he's seen at Belmont. And it takes a while to get used to that. And of course, in a different role. Before, he was kind of the guy. Now he's just one of the guys.
Well, this guy has themselves obviously in Auburn and Iowa State. North Carolina will tip things off against Dayton as the last game on day 1 on Monday.
And Dayton, who does also have a Maui Invitational.
Elliot threw that about 100 miles an hour across his chest. So
Cadeau gets it right back, though, as he takes the ball away and heads down.
Davis could be the Tar Heels' 4th all-time leading scorer tonight. Right behind Sam Perkins. There's Cadeau to Southborough. 8-2 Carolina since the timeout, and here's another steal. Cadeau all the way into double figures instantly. Stevens inside, nice find, and Smalls an even better block. Trimble got him from behind, and Cadeau charges into Mayock and scores. Here's Trimble off the missed 3. Carolina still has not hit a 3. As we said, they're up 10. They've hit 15 free throws. They hit 28 against Kansas Friday. Cadeau, wow, and he's got 15. He has just shoved.
When I transferred to UCLA, I walked up and saw 11 national championship banners, and John Gruden in a seat 2 rows back. Go ahead.
Off the Tyson miss. Cadeau, his first 3 tonight.
Cadeau with the soft touch comes and he lays it in. Boy, the ball sure not sticking for the Jayhawks tonight.
KJ Adams limping down court after that stick back.
Cadeau, count it, and now an off balance.
Who steps in the center circle. Mike Kitts works tonight with Trey Steins and Roger Ayers, and the Tar Heels have it first.
Expecting to see a lot of zone from the Phoenix in this game. However, starting off man-to-man.
And Cadeau. How about a 3? Elliot Cadeau. Here's a 3 ball from out front. R.J. Davis strong with that. And Cade Tyson, nice job in the deep corner to give Carolina a second chance.
If Cade Tyson is anywhere near the rebounder that his older brother Hunter is, North Carolina will be just fine. The offensive rebound by Cade Tyson gets.
Goes to Tyson and Davis. The 3 guards are out there. Here's Cadeau, a standing 3. Oh, my heavens.
He wouldn't have taken that shot attempt. Has to be scored as a shot attempt, right?
Cadeau on the drive and the basket.